Today, Tyler is going to walk you through the new Uponor Manifold wall cabinet installation. You'll start by removing the cabinet from the box and then removing the door. You'll then go in and loosen the wing nuts that are holding the trim in place. You'll then reattach the door and slide the entire door and trim off to place it back in the box to keep it safe from damage during installation. Next, we'll move on to installing the cabinet into the wall. First, you'll place the cabinet into the wall and push it as far back as possible. Next, you'll loosen the wing nuts on the feet of the cabinet to raise the height to the proper size of the opening. It's important here to account for the finished floor height as well. Once adjusted to the proper height, you'll need to retighten the wing nuts to keep it at the correct level. You will then secure the cabinet with anchor screws above and below the knockouts to prevent warping on the enclosure frame. If necessary, you'll add shims to provide the proper fit and prevent warping. Here we can see the shims being added above and below the knockouts with the anchor screws securing it into place. Next, we'll move on to manifold assembly and installation. First, you will lay out your rails, retention clips, bolts, M6 nuts, wing nuts, and washers. You will then insert the retention clips into the rail. Ensure the top and bottom retention clips are rotated 180 degrees so the bolt is closest to the outer edge of the rail. Each rail will have 6 retention clips. You will then add a washer and wing nut to the top and bottom retention clip of each rail. This will help stabilize the manifolds once they have been inserted into the cabinet. Now you will mount the manifold onto the rail using the extended bolts, then secure with the provided nuts and semi-tighten it. The retention clips will make it easy for you to slide the manifolds up and down the rails in order to create space for both manifolds to fit on the rails. Mount the second manifold onto the rails using the extended bolts, and then once again secure with the nuts and semi-tighten them. To install the manifold assembly onto the bottom rail of the cabinet, tilt the top of the assembly forward and the bottom backwards so the bottom of the vertical supports slide behind the lip of the bottom rail. Rotate the top of the manifold assembly vertical supports to the right or left so they slide behind the top rail. Move the manifold assembly back to square and level. You will then tighten the wing nuts on the top and bottom of both rails. You will then add the trim and the door by first taking off the door and sliding the trim back into place. Once the trim is aligned, you will then go in and tighten the wing nuts that attach the trim to the cabinet. And finally, you will reattach the door to the trim of the cabinet.